All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Getting right into my 2G swap. The only thing I'm waiting on is my manifold, but the truck doesn't come out of the garage, so doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to be doing a full review of the truck as well, but this video is just mainly on doing the 2G swap, walking you guys step by step. Black Market Performance is the kit I ordered. If you guys are wondering, like, if you ordered it by yourself or how long it takes, a little over a month right now. Have everything minus the one-piece manifold that they make. They said it would take a month or past a month. I don't know if I should have just ordered the Steed Speed at this point or not, but the price point, I got this on Black Friday. The price point was just a touch over $2,000, which for a 2G swap, super cheap in my opinion. I think most of them, some of these kits are getting like $5,000. I'm sure they're nice, but definitely not worth it for $5,000. Not for what they are. Not unless you have a crazy horsepower truck. But most people that just want a 2G sound, a lot of these kits are going to do everything you need. All your money is mainly in the turbos and manifold. The downpipes are literally just exhaust pipe bent, and the fittings and stuff are nice to have, but you can get them at a hardware store too. So if you watch this video, you find cheap ways, you want to piece it together yourself, comment below. Guys, the goal this year is to hit 10,000 subscribers. So before I get into this 2G swap, walking you guys through, I'm posting every Saturday and I believe a short every Tuesday. So subscribe, follow the content. It's going to be on the truck, my brother's truck, cars, dirt bikes, everything. So just follow along. I've had this truck on the channel for quite a while. Before I get too deep into this, the only thing that I have out so far is the intake, which you guys should be able to do that. If you're wondering why there's all this room, there's another video on the channel that's already live. 8-ball performance battery delete. The fender liner is all the way down on the tire just so I have room to get in here. But guys, this battery delete is sick. It frees up so much room. I need to tuck this wire behind the coolant jug, and whenever I get below the manifold or take the intercooler piping and stuff off, I'll be able to unbolt this. Dude, all this room over here, crazy. So anyway, all I've gotten into so far was literally just removing the intake setup. 8mm bolts, getting you to this point. Undo these clips right here for your on the top of your intake. If you still have the factory box, which if you're doing a 2G swap, you're not going to have it. My clip is secured over here for the active ram air. But anyway, now that I have this out, I'm going to go ahead, take this intercooler piping out. Looks like I just have a T or a bolt there, and I'm sure I could probably see this a little bit. I'm curious where I can see this at the best. Right there, but I do not see it. Wonder if I'm gonna have to get under the truck. Why would they put that on the inside? Anyway, that's the intercooler piping I'm trying to get off right now. So report back after. All right, guys, moving right along here. I am gonna be so brutally honest in this video. This coupler, super easy to remove. That coupler, which I did get it off, I'm not really sure how you fish it out because your coolant lines and everything right here, but I will say that coupler, man, is it a pain. I actually had to end up cutting it, which is fine because I'm not reusing it, but I had to end up cutting it down there at the bottom because there is, between these lines and not being able to like lift up without unbolting all this, dude, there is no room. So that's where I'm at. It's undone. They're 11mm, so you will struggle with that a little bit. They have these pressure style clips on them, I guess is the best way I can say it is. They're on there from the factory, so you really only have 2 T-bolts. So let me get this out, show you guys what it looks like, and then where I'm gonna go next. Alright guys, I gotta get ready to get for dinner, but let me get this clamp out of the way here. Anyway, throw that on the ground. My next thing is I want to unclip all of the sensors on the turbo. I think there's only 2 or 3, maybe. This is the first time me doing this. I'm sure some of you guys that have done this a lot more. But guys, look at all the oil that the dealership. This is why you do your own maintenance. Anyway, I've had them change it like 2 or 3 times for me, and clearly they spilled oil everywhere, so I'm gonna brake clean that really well. But I got this coolant line right here that runs to the top of the turbo. I have this feed line that also runs to the top of the turbo. And then I don't want to say that's it because it looks like there's something else, but after I unclip it, those are going to be the two areas where I'm looking next. And then possibly get into unbolting the downpipe and then start hitting the manifold. Phone's gonna die, boys. Got the intercooler pipe off. Holy fuck, was that terrible. Coolant line right there, and then that. Then we're gonna get started, but yeah. Getting there. Just, wow, that intercooler piping was miserable. Not even kidding. All right, what's up, guys? Me and my brother wrenching away. The days are gonna kind of run long in this video, so I'm trying to keep up with the best I can. Working on it just a little bit here and there. It's the winter time. I'm really not like dying to get this like absolutely done because I'm still not driving the truck anyway. I'm gonna flip the camera around, show you the things I did, drain the fluids out, and where I'm kind of at and what I'm doing. All right, guys, so we are in this general area right now. Took the feed line off the factory housing right here. I have the, obviously, oil filter completely out, drained all the fluid. We took, can't even see it, there's like an elbow before you get to your actual factory or your upgraded downpipe right here. It has a sensor in it. We took that off the bottom. We're actually gonna feed that up through, and it looks like the wiring runs down into this rat's nest and over to there. So we're gonna get that. Once we're done that, our goal is to take the turbo and everything out as a whole. But I gotta drain the coolant next, which one of these, this line right here that runs to the cooler riser, I'm gonna lose some coolant, but my main goal is I'm gonna pull this out and put the plug that they gave me right back in it. I'm not really worried about like losing a bunch of coolant, like, because obviously it needs flushed anyway, but I just don't have enough catch cans to catch how much this holds. So that's where we are. Keeping you guys updated as I'm going. The reason we're doing the coolant right now is because some of these bolts that run on the manifold are extremely difficult to get to with that line in the way. So we need this out. We need all this stuff out of the way so we can get the manifold unbolted. So that's where we are. Keep you guys posted. All right, guys. So got the manifold out. This is the route I went. Again, I'm like setting in the engine bay. Not saying this is the route you have to do. My brother's here helping me. Two people, almost a must. If you do this by yourself, you're pretty stud. These are all 13 millimeters that are in the head stud, or in the cylinder head itself. Got that, and then the 4 bolts that are on the turbo. So you'll have 3 studs, and then the bottom one like bolts in from the back side of the bottom. Last thing I need to get this turbo out, and then I can, man, clean up all this mess. Dude, this stuff is so congested, it's unreal. I need to get the drain off this, and accessing the drain to this thing from the bottom is very difficult. So my mindset, don't know if this is gonna work, is gonna be to lift turbo up a little bit now that I have a manifold, rock it this way, and get the drain bolts off, and then I'll be able to deal with the pressure fitting that's actually in the block itself. But this is where we are, guys. If you have any questions up to this point, feel free to ask. I'm gonna try to be as helpful as I possibly can. This is the first time I'm doing this by myself. It's just tedious, man. These 4Gs are tedious compared to the thirds. So, all right, guys, moving on. So anyway, I got all this stuff. I can't turn the light on right now. I don't know why. Got all this stuff soaking. Best way that we found to do it was separate the manifold and turbo. I'm not saying that's the only way, but when we were rocking the turbo to get the drain out from underneath, like not in the block, like actually where it bolts to the turbo, the drain actually fell right out of the block with no issues. I don't know why I deserve that, but thank you. Took the wheel off just to give a little bit more room. But guys, I'm going to clean this up really well. And then this might be part 1. Like I might do part 1 of this video. I think I'm actually going to do that because I got a lot of stuff on this to remove the turbo portion. And then the next video is going to be installing all of Black Market Performance's stuff. My manifold should be here. It should be here January 2nd. So by the time this video goes live, I should actually have the manifold potentially. But anyway, if you guys have any questions on removing this to do your 2G swap, I am doing a full video, by the way, before I close this out. This coolant riser pipe, I am making my kit that looks very similar, close to Point Blank Performance kits. It's $300 for $100 with name brand fittings such as Mishimoto and other good ones. So I'm going to do a whole video on that too because this stuff is going. But anyway, guys, that's going to do part 1 of my 2G swap. Getting it all out, walking through. If you have any questions, comment below. Guys, 10,000 subs is the goal. Just like the video, comment, sub. It's all appreciated. Support those who support you. Until next time. All right, guys, welcome back to part 2 of getting into the 2G swap. The only thing I'm still waiting on is my manifold. That should be here next week. This is the week of Christmas when this video is going live, so if you're seeing it, I probably recorded it a couple weeks, if not months before this. But anyway, everything's out right now. The only thing that's remaining that's still in the truck that I 100% need to do is take out my factory downpipe, which is 5-inch to put in. But other than that, starting this video off, we're getting right into the 2G swap. Guys, I'm going to keep saying it. Goal this year is hit 10,000 subs. I'm at 4,100 at this time of this video. Please just like, subscribe, and comment on the videos. They really help. Let's get into the 2G swap. Remember, this kit is from Black Market Performance. I did shorts on reviews of unboxing every single thing that they sent to me. So if you have questions on what that looks like in an unboxing, go ahead and click on the shorts. They're all in there. The only thing I've done to this point that's been off camera that you haven't seen is I've just taken a Scotch-Brite pad and a little piece of sandpaper to the mounting surface on the manifolds. But what I'm going to get into right now is putting the studs in and switching out the fitting to the oil feed housing right now. So I'm going to put anti-seize on the studs before I start threading them into the head, which I'll show you guys exactly, just a small little bit. I don't think I'm going to have any problems with them getting seized in the head. I also don't want to find out. So let me show you guys what I'm doing, where we're getting into it. Like and subscribe. All right, so got studs in. See a little bit of anti-seize. Guys, when I say a little bit, I mean a very, very little bit. But they're all in. I'm going to just take an Allen key inside of those studs right there that you can see. Just make sure they're snug. You're not trying to bury them into the head to where you like break a coolant jacket. Just snug them up. Make sure they don't go no more. You don't need to put a bunch of force in them. It's not what they're meant for. So I'm gonna snug them up, and then we're gonna move on to removing that. I could 100% just not put this in the video. I took this fitting out. It is a 19mm. It needs to remain where it's at. Like I said, guys, this is the first time I've done this on a 4G, so you're kind of going along with me. That stays in there, and the Black Market Performance Kit comes with another fitting that looks almost identical to that. It's just a little bit bigger on the side that threads in, and that actually threads into the top of the turbo so that you can retain your factory oil feed line. So my bad, but you know, learning as we go, so I just wanted to put that in the video. All right, guys, so let's just catch up to date here. Manifold bolts are in. I thought I needed the oil filter housing. I didn't. I put the caps on the coolant lines. There's one. You can't see it. The tray behind that sensor, I promise. Yeah, you see that little... Okay. So that's down there. Next thing we're moving on to, Black Market Performance's oil drain. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on those fittings. Guys, your goal is to not destroy these fittings. You're just trying to press that in. So kind of wiggle it back and forth. Just make sure it's lubricated really well. I'm going to stop the video here in a second and show you exactly where it goes. But down in that hole right there. Just want to make sure this is lubed up really well. I do not want to damage these O-rings. But I'm actually going to give them a little bit of kudos here. Their kit hasn't been like 10 out of 10, like, wow, I'm so impressed. But like, I actually like the factory style, like accordion tube. This is like all bendable. I'm actually quite a fan of this. I'm not saying it's the best, but I like it. All right, guys, a couple days later, ended off with getting the drain in. As you can see, I have the drain removed now. I just think it's going to be a little bit easier to bolt it to the bottom of the turbo whenever I get the center section cartridge in. Anyway, getting you guys up to speed. This is their, man, that coolant riser pipe, I cannot wait to get rid of that. This is their stainless one piece, which I did a short on this, a like whole video on the quality of it. I'm going to be honest with you. In short, just buy the Steed Speed. It's my brother's compared to this is absolutely no comparison in quality. So just go ahead and do that. But let me get into some of the other stuff. As you can see the bottom bolt's stock and the top bolt's the stud. So I got into this because I ordered Black Market Performance's stud kit, and the bottom bolts, there's like not enough room on the bottom runner to actually run the studs and bolts. So I did what any other customer would do, called them, and basically, in short, in a very non-professional way, because I'm not saying it was a professional way, he told me to go fuck off. He said he never tried this on his, he's like, I've never tried to run the stud kit on the Manifold. I'm like, dude, why do you sell a kit? Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. Run your factory bolts, and you wouldn't even have to do this. I just hate to put a new Manifold on and then run like the rusty old bolts, but I'm not spending any more time on that. As far as this part, these studs for where your turbo mounts, not included, and a gasket is not included for the turbo. Luckily, my brother had 2 sets with his AGP kit, and I lucked out. But if you order this kit, just know you need to get those studs, and they expect you to use your factory gaskets here and as well as on the head. But again, my brother, and I know you're watching this, Jake, thank you very much, came in clutch with some gaskets for me. So anyway, gonna get the hot side bolted up now, and yeah, we'll start putting it back together now. So just a little update if you guys have watched this. If you're ordering this kit, there's not a lot of information, so I'm trying to put as much out there and be as biased as possible. I didn't get a discount. I got it on Black Friday. Anybody could have got a discount. It's not like it's like a sponsorship deal, but it's me being 100% honest. Not real happy. I had to wait on that Manifold for like 2 months, and I just wanted it to fit. That's all. All right, guys, I'm not spending time bashing this kit. I am real curious, though, to know what Chinese brand was right here. Anyway, about to take this apart, about to take the cold side off, the center cartridge out, and then mount this, and then go in reverse order. But it is kind of funny that's ground down. I'm really curious to know the company that sells this thing. All right, guys, sorry about that. Man, I'm kind of just plugging away here on a Friday night. Got it snugged up. And you remember those Manifold bolts that I said, yeah, they actually came in clutch right there. So they look pretty nice, but got the fitting into the top of the turbo. And I got it snug in there. You can see there's no resistance on this. Got it snug. Need to run the bolt back through this. That banjo, or not banjo, V-band, sorry. Man, that thing's got a lot of tension on it, a lot. So, which is good. I mean, that's what you want. But you can see there's no gap or anything in the turbo, so that's nice. I'm gonna clock this the way that I wanted to once I get there, and then probably put the face on, and that's probably gonna be it for this video. Well, for tonight, not for you guys, but for me. I want to take the wife to dinner, but man, we're cruising, guys. It's cruising right along. That Manifold kind of upset me a little bit to start. If you're kind of in here, and I mean, you know how much these kits cost. They're not cheap, so you just kind of want everything to work. Not like bad mouthing them. Oh, one other thing. I did have to unbolt this. Man, I'm kind of all over the place, huh? I did have to unbolt this, move it out of the way, and I had to bend this AC line down a little bit because it was actually physically touching, and I still haven't secured this back to the wall. I'm gonna have to bend that a little bit more, I think, but I kind of you know, getting a general fit for how everything's going in here. This coolant riser pipe, when it's gone, this is gonna be cake to work in. This thing is a pain in the ass. If you guys haven't got rid of your coolant riser pipe, there's plenty of kits out there. I'm gonna make a whole nother video on my own kit. It's like 120 bucks. It'll have all the links down in the description whenever I make it. Get rid of this pipe. This pipe makes it a miserable pain to get around. I promise you, just get rid of it and do that. But anyway, we're chugging right along. I will say the front cover on this turbo is kind of funny. Makes me think it's like some Chinese brand because it had a pretty decent engraving mark done. I'm just curious to know what the brand actually is. You'll never know. I'll never know. But if it lasts, I'll let you know that. Next day, gentlemen, we are moving right along. Got the elbow not secured, but fastened where it's not going to fall off. Guys, you need to, before I ever even start this truck, I'm going to double check these probably 3 or 4 times. Like, if you do not check these bolts, it's going to eat the turbo up. they need to be snug and very snug. I might actually paint mark them and check them as I'm kind of going through some heat cycles. Anyway, the 45 coupler that they provide down there, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, these lines right here, like, cannot wait for coolant riser. I know I just keep saying the same thing over and over, but coolant riser pipe, AC lines, well, we got some trans lines somewhere in there too. It makes for a headache. Like the coolant riser pipe, I'm gonna reiterate it again. This thing needs to go. Like, and if you have a battery in here, you guys are savages for the space. Like, there's no space in here at all, and I don't even have a battery. Like, zero space in here to do what you need to do. These lines right here are so congested, and everything's pretty much touching everything. So once I get rid of the coolant riser, I'm definitely going to look into possibly the AC line reroute kit, just to, man. Anyway, not complaining. It has nothing to do with Black Market's kit either, guys. That's just how these trucks are designed. But anyway, you got a little bit of movement out of this. So I'm going to lift this up, put a coupler on it, connect it to that, and then I'll snug that down. And then my next step's going to be mounting the feed line. I already have the drain mounted, but I don't have it routed down into the block yet. And I think that's where we are. I wish I didn't have to reuse a factory feed line. It's just oily and looks gross, but it is what it is. It's just appearance stuff. But anyway, let me get this hooked up and we're going to keep trucking along. So if you guys are having questions, this is probably it didn't fight me. It's just, man, it's real tight down there. This is probably not difficult by any means, but definitely time consuming process right here. All right, guys. So got the intercooler pipe hooked up. Not a fan. Not trying to be a dickhead or anything, not trying to badmouth the company or anything. This intercooler piping's terrible. The reason I say that it's terrible is you guys can see it's like barely on. So this is a straight pipe. You can see how much space is in between here. It's because you can only get like the rib that's on this piping, like just over this. I've tried to slide these down. You can see it's touching that line. I actually reached out to another company already in hopes to go ahead and get another pipe. This barely fits. The reason I'm saying this is just because when you're fighting with this to get it in, you'll understand. It barely fits on down there by the intercooler, and it barely fits up here. So it's like one of those things. And how close. All right, guys, we are getting ready for the first start. Intercooler piping is on the best of its ability. It's got oil in it. I know my coolant's low, which is okay. There's still, it's low. It's not like it's out of coolant. Low on coolant. Actually, before I do that, I need to recheck these fittings. The one here and then the one in the block. I've checked this turbo like 3 or 4 times. Make sure that those clamps are tight. If they're not tight, they're going to eat the wheel up, destroy the turbo, etc., etc. So not good. Checked my top feed. This is pretty much to the point to where now I know I'm going to get a check engine light, like I said, because my intake's not on, so the sensors are not plugged in. Downpipe's also not on, so I know it's going to be super loud. This is just a quick startup to see if oil or anything is just pissing everywhere. After I get that, I'll throw the intake on, bolt the exhaust up, and yeah, get it out of the garage and clean up. It's been quite the process. If you've done one of these, it's not like they take that long. It's just, or not so much they take that long. It's not that they're they're just time consuming. Like, you have so much time invested in it. Guys, if you're watching this video and you haven't thought about getting rid of your coolant riser pipe, just do it. That thing is in the way. Probably one of my biggest complaints is that thing up to this point. That thing has been extremely in the way. But yeah, we're on the home stretch. It's a Black Market Performances kit. Everything minus the bottom bolts, and I know I've reiterated this, the bottom bolts I did have to use factory. Kept studs in the top, just they look better. Did not come with gaskets for the head. It did not come with a gasket for the turbo. So if you're buying this kit, and studs to mount this. So if you're buying this kit, just keep that in mind, guys, that it does not come with that stuff. And there's a couple things along the way that I've needed. So if you guys are just watching, there's a couple things I needed. This is not the one that came with the kit. These are the ones that come with the kit, and for whatever reason was already stripped. Luckily I had one, so not at the end of the world, but just keep that in mind as you're kind of plugging away at this kind of stuff. Intercooler piping, my only complaint so far, this thing's trash. It's the worst. It's just not good. But I did email EvilFab to see if I can buy their kit, or buy their intercooler. Anyway, too much talking. I'm gonna check over everything one more time, and then we're gonna give her a start. All right, guys, kit's done. I need to top my coolant off, but not too worried about topping it off. Like, there's some in the bottom until I finish that coolant riser. Reason being is it's just I'm gonna lose all the coolant anyway. I didn't lose that much, but let me give a quick like overview at the end of this, complaints and things that you might want to think about yourself. The bottom manifold, that's where I'm going to start at after I got this stuff off. It did not fit. Not the bottom manifold, the stud kit that they provided. I had to use factory bolts off my stock manifold on the bottom. And you can see I left the studs on the top because they work fine. It did not come with gaskets. So if you're doing this kit, I don't think about ordering that yourself. I have driven this, so if you're wondering, I have drove this. I know this a couple days later. I'm just trying to finish this video up for you guys, and I want to go over everything that I can think about. The drain, I thought I wanted to change it. I'm still not sure. The reason I might want to change it is because there's nothing wrong with this one, and like plenty of companies sell it. It just like really sits in the block, like it just rests in there. Like if I gave that thing a good tug, it would come right out. And I know that's how the factory one is. So if you're like gonna come at me about that, I know that's how the factory one is. So let's just keep moving here and keep talking about stuff. Turbo, everything was fine. My downpipe this is 4-inch and the rest of my exhaust is 5, so I did end up getting an adapter 4 to 5, which I did have to remove the very first hanger. I'm not crawling under the vehicle right now. I did have to remove the very first hanger for everything to line up, but my exhaust is like still rock solid, so that doesn't really bother me at all. But if you're wondering, that first mount is out. Hanger. Biggest complaint about the kit, like #1 complaint, I don't mind the intake setup. This turbo I do believe is an eBay turbo. The reason I think that is because like down here they ground this off. There's a turbo rate on eBay. It looks exactly like this, and you can get it for about $600. But I'll be honest with you, if it works, I really don't care. Is this intercooler pipe? I had to cut my inner fender liner. Don't really care about that. These things are, you can get inner fender liners for like 30, 40 bucks. This thing does not fit. Like this, and I actually had to, I'll tell you how bad it doesn't fit. I ordered another one from AGP. It was like 150 bucks. This thing does not fit. And excuse me, if you message them, they basically tell you to clock your turbo a different way, like go up and down. I do. The coupler's not long enough, and truth be told, this piping needs to be like at each end, it almost needs to be like angled up, and then it needs to be angled down. This piping's 0 out of 5. It's awful, and this setup is so temporary just so I can drive the truck and enjoy it. I did order another one. There's plenty of other kits that order them. EvilFab, if you're running a battery over here, I hear that one's runs into the battery, because that's who I was gonna go with. I ended up going with AGPs. They sold me just the pipe alone. I don't need couplers. I have other couplers. But it was 150 bucks, I think, shipped for just a piece of pipe. It's a coupler, a 90, and a 45 that go into your intercooler, and it's so bad. Like, it's so bad. It's the worst. It's not good at all. It's the worst thing ever. That's what makes this kit so bad. Like, when I was mounting my turbo and everything, minus the fact it didn't come with like hardware for stuff, I don't mind this kit. This kit's actually nice. With this intercooler piping, Black Market Performance, if you ever stumble across this video, you guys know this is trash, and I've messaged you guys, and all you keep telling me to do is clock the turbo. I've clocked it every different way that under the sun to get that way. You guys know it's trash. It's so cheap and not thought out. I'm not complaining. I don't want to but everything else is good. I drove the truck, got my tunes uploaded, and it runs good. It runs very, very well. This is a 464. I've done plenty of YouTube shorts on unboxing everything. So if you're wondering like how it looks when you're gonna get it, it comes in like 4 separate boxes. But this intercooler piping, my alarm went off. But anyway, this intercooler piping and the bottom of that manifold not fitting sucks. I mean, they'll message you back and forth, but it's pretty much just like, hey, try this or try this, and it's like, man, it just doesn't work. So anyway, it's done. I've put 100 miles on the truck.
very happy, long as the turbo lasts. And next step, guys, is going to be pull valve cover off, put a D&J valve cover on it, put head studs in it, put push rods in it, push valve strings in it, and message my tuner and tell them I want to raise it. And I will say this truck is on a stock transmission, so you guys know what's next on that. So I'm going to try to build that myself, actually. But anyway, guys, subscriber goal is 10,000. If you have made it to this point in the video, I appreciate you so much. 10,000 subscribers. I'm going to mention it in every video. I'm trying to literally double where I'm at right now. So 10,000. I'm going to post every single week. There will be a video and there will be a short every week. It's not going to be on strictly Cummins. It's going to be on dirt bikes. But anyway, if you have any questions about this, guys, comment below. Like, subscribe, show the support. I appreciate all of you. Until next time. Peace.